Welcome to this video of Sonic Gazelle Pilot, previously Pure Sim Gamer. Today we are going to do a full ATC flight over Europe. When I bring up VATSIM, I see that Bremen radar is in the air, so let me zoom into Bremen radar. And we are going to do a flight from Berlin, which has the code Echo Delta Delta Bravo, to a little place called Rostock. There's a famous festival in Rostock. It has the code Echo Tango November Lima. So go ahead to SimBrief and plan a new flight from Echo Delta Delta Bravo, which is Berlin, to Echo Tango November Lima, which is Rostock, with a British Airways 8422, call name Speedbird 8422, airplane type 320, of the variant fly-by-wire. We will be departing in about 15 minutes, so that will be at about 11 o'clock, a little bit after 11 o'clock, let's say 11:15 at the latest. And this is all the basic information that is needed to generate a flight. As you see, we have here a flight plan. Let me see if we don't have shorter flight plans. No, I guess we can go with this one and generate a flight. Now, as we will be talking to VATSIM, they need to know what route we plan to fly. So we will generate this flight on VATSIM, but not after having taken note of the altitude. The expected cruise altitude is flight level 240. So with this done, we can go and pre-file this flight on VATSIM. All the details have been filled out, so we have our departure in Berlin, our arrival in Rostock, and with this we can go down here and file the plan, and the flight plan was filed. So heading over to world map, I will type in the ICARA code of Berlin where we'll depart, Echo Delta Delta Bravo, and we will zoom in on Berlin. It's an airport with two parallel runways. We will park at the gate B6, set as departure. And of course, I write that down also on my paper, so that when I communicate with ATC, I can say that we are at gate B6. While the flight simulator is loading, let's have a look at VATSIM if we have ATIS information. Yes, we do have ATIS information. My mouse is gone. Oh, well, what's happened to VATSIM? Okay, when I right click here, we can have a look at ATIS information to know what runway we can expect. And they say for approach, runway is 25 left and 25 right. But they don't specify which one is for departure. And let's see if we have a runway at the arrival airport. We have information Bravo, runways in use. We have the transition level of 6,000 feet, but no runways specified, so we will have to ask that to ATC. So here we are, ready to fly. Let's start up our airplane, and we can do this by heading over to the overhead panel and get the available power, put the battery 1 and battery 2 on, crew oxygen supply, the ADIS on, which is the main flight displays, and let's get the fuel pumping through those tubes. We need to start the plane with the master switch, APU bleed and APU available on. Let me brighten up this panel a little bit, that will be easier. And we can also put on the lights already, the strobe light, the wing lights, the navigation lights, taxi lights. Extract and put on the landing lights and the runway turn lights. Seat belts on, no smoking on. I like to also brighten up a little bit the front displays, so the primary flight display overhead displays, I mean the top displays. Then also e-cams, floodlights, and I can brighten up the MCDU by clicking on the bright button here. So that makes us ready to plan our flights. First we will have to import our flight from SimBrief. Let's start up the flight pad and import our flight, which we just filed. And you can see that we go from Berlin to Rostock. Cargo wise, we need to fuel up the plane, so let's get from SimBrief. The fuel is 4.2 tons. Let's start fueling. And the payload from SimBrief is 144 passengers. Let's start boarding. I'll put it to fast. Planning the flight in the MCDU, ATSU, AOC menu, init data request, and here we have it, Berlin to Rostock. Then we follow the acronym DIVSRIP. DIVSRIP starts with D delta from data. This is not implemented in the Airbus 320 fly-by-wire there. Then the second letter of DIVSRIP is I from India, from init request. We will have from to our flight number, the cost index, cruising this level of flight level 240 and minus 32 degrees at that altitude. Continuing with the acronym of DIVSRIP, we have F from Frankfurt from flight plan, and we can see we have Berlin with a few waypoints to Rostock. We have one flight plan discontinuity. I click on clear until I see clear here, and I can click on the flight plan discontinuity. Note we don't have SIDS and stars yet. We will get these from ATC. Continuing with the acronym of DIVSRIP, we have now S from secondary flight plan is not implemented. R from RadNav. If we knew the destination runway, we could put in the frequency. We will come back here. DIVSRIP. I from init B. We go to next phase. The block fuel was 4.5 tons. Oh, little typo. 4.5 tons. And zero fuel weight, we can get this from the flight pad. So let's head over here. We have 57.4, 32.9. 57.4 / forwards 32.9, and we can enter it right here. Let's see if we have a tailwind or a heading wind. So from the operational flight sheet we see that we have -1 knot. No, completed. -32 knots. It's quite a strong wind here. -32, so our estimated flight duration will be longer because we have a headwind. And with this we have still the performance, DIVSRIP, P from Papa from performance, and here I put my flaps now in 1, and I will note that we do flaps 1 departure. The temperature here in Berlin right now is 10 degrees. It's all information that is necessary to calculate our rotation speeds, and now we can have our V1 populated, velocity, rotation, and V2. And the flight has been completely planned. Now let's bring up also Navigraph charts and load it from SimBrief. I can dismiss the previous flight plan, unload it, and then go to import flights from SimBrief, and we take the latest one, the one that we just filed, and here you go, that's our flight plan. Now, as we will get the SID and the star from ATC, I will remove the SID and I will remove the star, which is already been removed, and we can now contact ATC. Now we first have to connect, of course, with vPilot. We connect using our call sign and our aircraft type code, and we will get the different frequencies. The first one that I'm interested in is because we do not have tower our delivery here, we will be talking immediately to departure. So Berlin departure at 126425. Let's see. That's well, it's not in the list yet. Let's refresh this screen and see if it's still there. Yeah, it seems to be here. Berlin approach departure. Echo Delta Delta Bravo S approach. Yes, it's this one. We have to contact Berlin approach. Let me write it down. On 126.425. So let's head over to our communication tool and go to 126.425. And then we can request our flight clearance, which will give us our SID. But just before doing that, let me bring up what are the possible SIDs. So when I go to flight and I go to departure, then probably we will get the Jersey to N departure, which is actually Golf Echo Romeo Golf to November. So let's see if we get this one. So I will ask clearance right now. I have to write down all the information that I get: departure runway, squawk, initial climb, and of course what is the SID. So here we go.
Stanza 1 Fox uniform, we are fully ready, request startup and pushback.
Stanza 1 Fox uniform, pushback approved, facing south.
Startup push approved, facing south. Stanza 1 Fox uniform.
Berlin approach, good afternoon. Speedbird 8422 Airbus 320 at gate base Bravo 6. We have information Charlie. Request IFR clearance to Rostock.
Speedbird 8422, hello, information Delta X, correction, information Delta Connect, startup approved, gate Rostock, Lage, Gerga 2 November, flight plan route, climb SID 5000 feet, squawk 1000.
Cleared via Gerga 2 November, initial climb 10,000 feet, squawk 1000. Could I have the runway in use, please? Speedbird 8422.
Speedbird 844, correct, Speedbird 8422, initial climb 5000 feet and departure runway 25 left.
Initial climb 5,000 feet, departure runway 25 left, Speedbird 8422. So we have some information that we can use to prepare the plane. We got a squawk code 1000, so let me put this to 1000 and put it on. We had the initial climb of 5000. We have our SID, which I can enter in the MCDU, which is the Gerg to November. I also added to the routes in Navigraph charts. If I go to the flight plan and I go to departure, we have runway 25 left with the Gurg 2 November. Ah, there's only Gurg 1 November here. Let's see if I did make a mistake. It's Gurg 2 November that I should have. So why is it not here? Let's try again. Departure. 25 left. There's only 125 left. So makes me wondering. And Gurg 2 November is not here, so I will call them up and ask them. Berlin approach speedbird 842. I have the Gurg 1 November in my system, not the Gurg 2 November. Is that alright?
Yeah, that's also okay. We got new SIDs with the latest era, but it's not much of a difference.
Okay, copy that, speedbird 842. So I'll enter the Gurg 1 November and see if there's no flight plan discontinuities. There's one here. I have to clear that one. All the way down to Echo Tango November Lima. That's our flight plan. Let's have a little view on the flight routes. So if I bring this up and I go to flight plan, we should be able to toggle through it and see our different waypoints. So that seems to be Garga, Idaho, Abika, Sirmi, Ritev. That seems to be okay. So I'll put the mode back into arc mode and have a look where we are on the airport relatively to runway 25 left. So 25 left, we will have to head over.
1 Foxtrot uniform, request taxi and we are able for Max 7.
4 Foxtrot, correction 1 Foxtrot uniform, taxi to holding point runway 25 left via Victor 2, Mike 7.
Taxi to holding point runway 25 left via Victor 2 and Mike 7, Lufthansa 1 Fox uniform.
We'll request the push. We'll probably be facing south. So let me bring up the pushback helper. Meanwhile, I can, as passengers have been boarded, I can put on the beacon lights, remove external power,
flight attendants, armed doors, and cross-check.
And we'll start the pushback planning. So I'll ask Berlin approach, speedbird 842, ready for push and start.
Speedbird 8422, pushback approved, facing south.
Pushback approved, facing south, speedbird 8422. So we pre-plan our pushback. And we'll be facing south. That's always when a calm comes over me, when we are ready to depart. Most important has been established, so I request a pushback. And meanwhile, I will start up the engines.
Thunder 1 Foxtrot uniform, wind 260 degrees, 18 knots, runway 25 left, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 25 left, cleared for takeoff, Lufthansa 1 Fox uniform.
Okay, sir. The bypass pin is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
We are cleared for start and push.
Okay, cleared for push start. Please release parking brake.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
When this number reaches 61%, we can start the second engine. This number here. Well, it's funny, it doesn't look like 61 is going to be in reach. I don't know where I got that, but let's wait a little bit for the first engine to cycle up. Yeah, it's this number, 61, so we can start the second engine. And now we will see on the left hand side the numbers move.
Lufthansa 1 Foxtrot uniform, report passing level.
Passing 2,500 feet, 1 Fox uniform.
Lufthansa 1 Foxtrot uniform identified, climb passage flight level 160.
So far,
Passage level 160, Lufthansa 1 Fox uniform.
for taxiing we have to go all the way to runway 25 left, so that will be via Victor 2, probably Echo or Bravo, to holding point M8 or M9.
Okay, pushback completed. Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering aircraft.
Let's verify the engines.
Ground. Startup is complete. You may disconnect.
The engines are okay,
Good
so
engine start.
I
Cleared to
can
disconnect.
switch
See
that
you
knob
outside.
here
Have a good flight.
and
Holding position.
Lufthansa 1 Foxtrot uniform, proceed direct Magdeburg, Mike Alpha Golf.
Proceed direct Magdeburg,
off
Lufthansa 1 Fox
the
uniform.
APU, and then we can request our taxiing. Berlin approach, speedbird 842, request taxi to runway 25 left.
Speedbird 8442, taxi to holding point runway 25 left via Victor 2 and Mike 7.
Via Victor 2 and Mike 7?
Correct. Lufthansa 1 Foxtrot uniform, proceed direct Esegu.
Direct Esegu, Lufthansa 1 Fox uniform.
Okay, we'll be going
Lufthansa 1 Foxtrot uniform, contact Bremen radar on 124, decimal
on the runway
175.
here. So
Radar
let's start
124, decimal
taxiing.
175, Lufthansa 1 Fox uniform, danke dir, schönen Tag noch, ciao.
Release a parking brake and we can start taxiing. Let me zoom in to our position. And off we go. Meanwhile, I'm putting already the frequency in for the next ATC frequency of Bremen radar.
Private schön, guten Morgen, Eurowings 9044, direct Delta Bravo 433, flight level 200, descending flight level 140.
First Speedbird 8422, wind 260 degrees, 18 knots, runway 25 left, cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff, Speedbird 8422.
Eurowings 9044, arrival, good day identified, information Delta, expect alles, runway 25 left, descent flight level 100.
Descending flight level 100 and expect runway 25 left, Eurowings 9044.
So we'll do a rolling start. And off we are. Berlin approach, speedbird 8422, climbing 1200 feet.
Speedbird 844, correction, Speedbird 8422 identified, climb via SID flight level 160.
Climb flight level 160, speedbird 8422. So this is the moment to put in the flaps. So we have flap 0 now and we are on our way. There's a rainbow. But I usually do
Speedbird 8422, proceed direct Lexa.
proceed direct Lexa, speedbird 8422. So Lexa is let me see in the MCDU. Lexa. Lexa direct. Let's see, there's no flight discrepancies. No, everything seems fine. So we're taking a turn to the right and we're going directly to Lexa. Let's see if I can find Lexa on the map. Yes, that's this waypoint. I could actually remove all the waypoints here, the other ones, but I think that would be too much work. Let's just expect this little pink arrow to fly a straight line to Lexa. I would like to know what runway is in use at
Speedbird 8422, contact Bremen radar on 124, das war 175, bye-bye.
connect Bremen Radar 124.175. Thank you, Speedbird 8422. So 124.175 is already in there, and we can connect to Bremen Radar. I have to set the QNH. QNH is 1018. And let's go talk to Bremen Radar. Bremen Radar, Speedbird 842, inbound Lexa.
Speedbird 842, hello, identified. Climb flight level 240.
Climb flight level 240, Speedbird 842. Let me ask what runway is in use at so that
Scandinavian 7513, contact Winnick radar 133.565, goodbye.
what runway is in use at
133.565,
Rostock,
Scandinavian 7513, thank you very much, bye bye.
so that we can start planning our arrival. Bremen Radar, Speedbird 842, request runway in use at Rostock.
Speedbird 842, expect ILS Zulu, runway 27, Ausgig.
Expect ILS Zulu, runway 27, Speedbird 8422. So we can bring up runway 27, which is here. We select our approach, ILS Zulu, final, added to the route. And when I bring up the map of Zulu, I will see the frequency of the ILS, which is 108.3. That we want to enter in the RadNav page. 108.3. So we have now our frequency set to catch the glide slope of runway 27. 27 that will be pointing northwestwards. Now, later on we will receive our star. To have an idea what star we will receive, I can already select the arrivals. Oh, there is no arrival to be selected, so we'll probably be guided there from Lexa straight to our arrival.
Speedbird 8422, proceed direct Ausgig, Oscar Sierra Golf India Golf.
Proceed direct Oscar Sierra Kilo India Golf, Speedbird 8422.
Ja, Oscar Sierra Golf India Golf.
Oscar Sierra Golf India Golf, Speedbird 8422. O S Golf India Golf. Direct. And we have it now. There's a flight plan discontinuity that came up. No. Yes. So let's remove that. And now we have our direct flight path to Osgig. Let's see if we can have the Zulu arrival with VIA. So let's elect ILS Zulu. Yes, transition Oskik. I can add that to the route. And this will be more in line with what is in the MCDU. Let me also already do the performance page for the arrival. So next phase, next phase, next phase. The QNH is, we can see that on the flight pad, 1014 and the temperature is 10. And the magnitude of the wind is 260 degrees, 17 knots. So that's being said. I think we are ready to descend now. Let's see, we have to be at what altitude? We have to be at 3000 feet at Lexa, at Oskik. 3000 feet.
You're 8422, descent flight level 100.
Descent flight level 100, speedbird 8422. So that answers my question. And the plane starts to descend. So it's cloudy above eastern Germany. But there's a far reach of view. Visibility is clear here at about 20,000 feet.
Bremen radar, guten Tag, Tarom Tarom 415 Bravo, with you passing 50370, 50380.
Tarom 415 Bravo, hello, identified. Proceed direct, actually direct Oscar Delta November.
Direct Oscar Delta November for Tarom 415 Bravo.
We will have to exit the runway to the right at the end at Rostock. And here we are. Let's do a final check if there's no flight discontinuities in the flight plan. Everything seems to be okay. We have waypoint Oskik. I think I can remove Lexa. Let me have a view on the map.
Tarom 41 Bravo, proceed direct Ram with Romeo Alpha Mike Uniform Delta.
I can remove Lexa.
Ada, hello, Lufthansa 2694.
Proceed direct Ramwood for Tarom 415 Bravo.
Lufthansa 964, hello, identified.
And this makes more intuitive our flight plan. So we'll go directly to Oskik and then take a left turn to intercept the glide slope, for which we have already entered. The frequency.
Bird 842 out of Oskik, cleared ILS Zulu, runway 27, report established.
Report established runway 27 ILS, speedbird 842.
Im Radar, moin, die Lufthansa vor Papa Foxtrot, descending flight level 210, inbound Karlsdorf.
For Papa Foxtrot, hello, identified, descent flight level 140.
Might overshoot the ILS.
For X-ray, arrivals 126.45.
For the X-ray, contact 126.425.
Das war vor Papa Foxtrot, arrival 126.425, goodbye.
126.425, this is for Papa Foxtrot, ciao.
So we are nearing the point Oskik where we can start intercepting the ILS.
Brevent Tarom 415 Bravo, backwards.
415 Bravo, welcome back.
I'll wait until we made the turn to the left to engage localizer and approach. Which I can do right now. Reben radar, speedbird 842, established ILS 27.
0842, hello, wind 27 raise 21 knots, runway 27, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 27, speedbird 842. Now I want to reduce my speed a little bit, because that's far out of reach, because we descended so quickly. I'll bring it back to 180. Which is the maximum speed for landing an Airbus.
Lufthansa 269 Monitor Unicom, goodbye.
Still a little distance from the runway. So our speed can still decrease even though we are descending. Quite a rural area, a lot of agriculture here. You can see the fields down there. I'm not sure if we are not going too fast, so I'll put up the speed brake for a while.
2,500.
And I'll put the speed brake back. Now. And I think we can put out flaps 1 now. Yes. I'll bring it back to managed mode. Speed is back in managed mode and we can see the runway in front of us. So we have successfully intercepted the glide slope.
415 Bravo, take main control on 136.485.
136.485, Tarom 415 Bravo. Thank you for the help. Choose.
All stations, I'm closing now, Marachili, come goodbye.
So we will evacuate the runway at the end, and then we might taxi via Mike to one of the parking stands. But we'll see that once we are on the ground. Let me have a look at airport chart. So we have Charlie and Mike.
$1,000.
Beautiful scenery here. Patches of sun between the clouds. Let's pull down the landing gear. And not forget to disengage the autopilot at the end.
Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain. Too low, terrain. 400. Too low, terrain. 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 30, 20, 10, 5.
Reverse thrust and brake. Bremen radar, speedbird 842, cleared runway 27, request taxi. Has Bremen radar gone? Oh, well. I think they left us, so I will simply taxi to a stand. There we go. It's a quite small airport. What are those cars doing in the way? And let's park up right here. Airfield with all Cessnas of people going to the festival of Rostock with private jets. So this was the flight. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Speedbird 842